Hey there everybody, it's Wayne D. Welcome to the website WayneD.com. We're looking at Justin Thomas. Recently won a nice tournament over in Asia, tour event, and quite handily actually. This was at Bay Hill. I was out there in 2015 and he was hitting some balls and I snuck around with my camera and my tripod. And I got some down the line shots of him. So it almost looks like it's slow-mo at the beginning. I don't even know if this was regular speed because it was so quiet here, and then all of a sudden looks like someone sped it up. Have you ever seen the lower body snap so fast? I mean, he hits it. He's pretty tall and very skinny, but man, he launches it. These things were straight up in the air and huge. So you can just see it. So I got some slow-mos, obviously. That's a close one. Here we go. So this is a slow-mo. Partially obscured by the unmovable caddy. Let's take a look. Because when you film with a tripod and you get the camera in the right spot, you can draw some lines. So here we go. So the first thing you'll notice is a little push down of the grip, and then the club head staying outside of his hands. So most of the time when this happens, the face will be not quite open, but as we get up into the swing, what we can surmise is that the grip is fairly weak actually because of the face versus left wrist angle. So also notice here the position of the right elbow, what I would call pinched in. So most of the time, if the elbow is in like that, the left arm will rise, and that's what happens here. We get a fairly upright swing. Now when I was talking about the grip, when you look at the wrist angle and the face angle, usually with a flat wrist like this, you would see a face angle that was more closed. But like I said, he's got a fairly weak grip. So again, you know, that's one of the higher, it's one of the most vertical left arms. You don't see too many players nowadays with their right arm above parallel to the ground. And then when you see the progression, you'll see the amount of up in the second half of that. So in the first half, when the hands push down, you can expect to see a fairly tight inward progression. That's only 6, and then we go up from 49, you get all the way up to 10 more. That's another thing you don't usually see. Now when you look at the stability here, you know he's compressing down. Watch the head. So when he pushes down, he's getting into the ground. There's a nice lowering there without any head movement. Backing up. Got the right hip gaining a little depth right here. And if we look at the right leg, you'd have to say it's maintaining its flex and getting deeper. So if we look at it, so definitely compressing into the ground. When we look at that knee movement, he's, you know, we're looking for balance. If you look at somebody's swing with less mobility, you'll always see the left knee way more out and the right knee almost stuck on the original spot there. But this is way more optimum for leg movement here. Now this is where it gets really interesting. So we're going to combine all these movements here. Watch, the grip comes not quite, well, you'd have to say it's pretty straight down, but you would expect that because it was way up. But if you watch the left wrist, the left wrist is going to begin to shut the face. And again, you can expect that when the grip is weak, you got to square that face up. But watch that right leg. That thing is going to shoot forward. Now you would think there'd be a major league hump here. Let's go to full screen. You'd think there would be a, like he'd be shooting his hips up underneath him. But watch what happens. So both heels, I mean, he's up in the air. But watch what happens to his hips now. This is another cool thing, though. You know, you can see that when the club arcs around, watch how close it stays to that middle line. Remember, his hands were pretty low at address and pushed down. Now he's hitting it right there. Boom. Watch the thing go around. Now watch his right leg. Man, that thing is driving this way, right? And look at his hips, perfectly in the box. Now they were way out to begin with, which initially will level out the pelvis and usually cause all sorts of problems. But look how nicely he keeps his head right out over the ball. So all that lowering there, all that compression is in the backswing, and in the downswing there is none. So he's really driving that right glute up into the left there. You can even see the left is deeper than it was when we started. And at the end, there is nothing outside the box. So with both heels just flying off the ground, when he finishes up, that left heel gets back down. Hips are in the box. Head. Look at that thing now. At impact, watch what happens after impact here. Now this is the result of the right leg trying to drive back inward. Watch the head. Woo. So there's the Byron Nelson effect. All right, so that is obviously very cool. So I did manage to find a nice face on Compliments of Golf Digest on the internet. So good camera work here, so we can check it out. So one of the things you'll see here that's interesting is the way he's got the shaft leaning back. So with the ball up on the heel and the stance fairly wide, you would expect, if the grip stays, if the left wrist stays bent in, the shaft's going to lean back. If you, like a lot of players, wanted to lean that thing up to 90, then obviously the left wrist would flatten. So you see both types of setups used all the time. With the weaker grip, when he, let's get rid of some of those lines, when he sets up like that, it makes his grip look a little stronger, but it really is not. So I'd say it's a 2 at best, 1.5 knuckles maybe. All right, so let's see what we got here. So there's what we saw from down the line. We got the compression from address. Notice loading into the right leg there. He's got just about the right amount. I mean, this is what I would tell people. Let's go to the right with the head, just a hair. So the hips aren't really perfectly in the box at the end. There's a little extra push there. So you can see the right foot's going to lean over just a hair, and the hips are just going to slide just a touch. So we got those hands way up, right up over the head. Now here's where the downswing is going to start. Now this, remember how fast those hips were working. You will not see hips square up that fast. Look where his knees are. So you look at my swing, I complain about my left leg getting stuck. My left leg is even with my right leg about here. So I mean, if you look at the oldest Tiger swings, his hands would even be, you know, maybe a tiny bit lower, and his hips would look like that. This is really early Tiger stuff. Although the backswing, Tiger would never have it like way up there. So if we go back to the front, we get a touch of lateral. Now watch the head. The head's going to start going back. So remember, the right leg is driving hard up toward the ball. But check out the left wrist here, how that's bent down, and look at the face. So the face is here. So again, you know that grip is fairly weak, and he's going to turn that thing down and release it pretty much as hard as he can. So at impact, his hands are pretty close to being forward of the ball, but the angle of attack has to be nicely up. Again, look where his head is. And look at those heels off the ground. So these are things that you probably wouldn't be teaching, but if whoever it was hit it like this, certainly wouldn't mess around with it. So this is where it really gets cool. I mean, when you look at a shaft leaning on the left arm that long, that's just really something or other. And then you look at this position in here, and you go, oh my God. If I even tried to put myself in that position, you could just call 911 immediately. So if we look at it's really cool. Look at the right wrist. That's a la Hogan there. So that's what we would call a full roll release, but it's sustained through the ball. It's not a throw release, but the throw is late. So look at how straight the right arm is in line with the shaft, how long that is. I mean, that takes some serious upper body mobility. So it's certainly, definitely powerful. I want to show you, you got this kind of iron swing. Actually, another one. That's kind of a tee shot. Watch this one. So this one looks remarkably more conventional, let's say. If you watch the club head, it's not outside the hands at all. In fact, it's perfectly on plane. You'll see the right elbow is deeper here. Still goes up, but this is a shorter swing, and that's probably why this is all happening. Pretty conventional. Flattening, if you watch the legs, much quieter. Left heel's definitely on the ground. Releases over to the left. So what you can surmise there is that Thomas has he has a driver swing that launches the thing forever, and he has an iron swing that controls the ball much more effectively here. Again, see the very cool squaring up at the face with the left. So there you go. It's always very cool to see different techniques, and this young guy certainly has a pretty cool one. All right.